advertised, as I put on there, I'm going to, actually what I'm going to try to do, man, I spent about 47 minutes on the phone with Barry Clarkson today. And we were actually talking about this. It was supposed to be probably a 2 to 3 minute phone call, and we got to talking about this, and it went 47 minutes. But okay, so if you guys will let me, I want to go a little bit deeper tonight than typical surface stuff. I don't want to offend you at all. It's this call is not meant to offend you, but there's not a whole lot of things in my life that I'm good at. I'm fairly good at hitting a golf ball. Not as good as some people. Obviously, I didn't make it playing professionally, but I pretty much, when I get over a golf ball, I pretty much know what to do to hit it, and I enjoy it. I knew how to throw a football. I knew how to read defenses in high school, but obviously was not great at that either. Didn't play anymore since high school. So, it's like, okay, great. Loved baseball. That was probably my favorite. Actually, basketball is my favorite sport. But there's just not very many things that I'm good at. But if there's one thing that I do know that I'm really good at, if there's one thing that I do know that I've learned from the best, and that is I've learned how to build teams. I've learned how to grow, and I know what are gimmicks. I know what are foundational truths, and I know what non-foundational truths are. And so I tell you what, I'm getting about sick and tired of just kind of sitting back. And when I joined Equis, I joined because of my friendship with Barry Clarkson. I didn't join for ego purposes. I remember getting on conference calls and thinking that, man, I never want to talk on a conference call. Listen, I don't want the spotlight. I don't want it. What I want is I want to go out there and I want to make money, and I want Kim Kight to have more money in her checking account than she literally knows what to do with. I stand on Malachi chapter 3, 6 through 12. Okay, we're not going to rob God, and we're going to prove Him, and we're going to tithe, and we're going to offer. And what He promises is that the windows of heaven will open up and pour us out a blessing that there's not room enough to receive. So that's coming in. There's not room enough to receive it. That's the blessing that we're standing on. That's what God says He'll do. He says, prove me now herewith and see if I will not pour you out a blessing there's not room enough to receive. And you know what? If that's too spiritual for you, I'm sorry. But what else do you want to talk about? You're on here because you want to make money and you want to be successful. What else do you want to talk about? I'm into blessings coming in, overflowing, overtaking me. You can't stop them. Like, you can't stop them. That's what I'm standing on. I want Kim to have more money in her checking account she knows what to do with. I want to have duplication. I want to hire the very freaking best in the country to build businesses. And I'd love to coach them and I'd love to train them, but I'm not going to call them up and force my will on them. If you want to call me up and ask me questions about what I think you need to do, then I'm glad to tell you. But don't think I'm not watching you the next 7 to 10 days to see if you implement. Because if you do, then I think you're going to be successful building a team. But if you don't, and you change your strategy every 6, 7, 10 days, because every single conference call, you're changing your strategy, well, it ain't never going to work. So I feel like I understand this, and it's like what I was telling Barry today. I'm sick of allowing people to talk about gimmick stuff. And you know what? I'm also smart enough to know that me having a team of salespeople and me playing big shot insurance man, because I don't have anybody building, but I've got a team of salespeople and I'm on the leaderboard every week. Well, you know what I know? Having a team of salespeople is no different a job than going out there and personally selling. It's self-driven income. It's not duplication. Yeah, you got your name on the leaderboard. Yeah, you make more money than the typical sales guy. But you got to wake up and you got to drive it every single day. I mean, is that what you want? Seriously, is that what you want? It's not what I want. And you know what I told Barry? I'd rather get in my car and I'd rather put 60,000 a year, actually 63,000 miles a year on my car and be by myself and go out there and write 5, 6, 7 applications a week than I would sit there and try to motivate salespeople. And then, I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So I build my business for a specific reason, Daniel McCrae. I build my business for a specific reason. That is to duplicate my B quadrant building activities. There's no freedom with insurance sales. If you want freedom, it's going to come through duplicating your business building activities. And so if you're going to duplicate yourself with people that are sharp enough to go out there and get results, well, I mean, I hate to tell you this, and I'd hate to be the bearer of bad news, but, you know, Barry talks about a 6-point profile quite a bit. And if you think going out there and ICA and 500 people a day that are 1 on the scale of 6-point profiles, if you think that's going to get you where, I don't know, where you think you want to go, I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with that. Yes, I think recruiting drives the world. Yes, I think recruiting drives sales. Yes, I think recruiting drives people getting through classes. Yes, I think recruiting drives every good thing in the world. I believe that. But I'm also smart enough to know that, you know what, there's just as many sharp people out there as unsharp people. Why ain't you talking to sharp people? Because of your self-image. That's why. That's why you're not talking to sharp people, because your self-image. Well, why is your self-image low? Because you don't read, because you don't develop yourself personally. Seriously, because you don't have a dream, because you don't strive to become, overcome to become every single day to get better. Because you don't develop better people skills, because you don't have a hunger for taking and putting the blinders on and really blocking out everything else in life versus getting to your next goal. So if we're going to talk about big boy stuff and we're going to talk about foundational truths to building distribution for top rated insurance carriers, then let's talk about it. Got another call from an individual that this person has probably called me about, well, if they've called me one time, they probably called me 80. And here's the thing. The frustrating part for this individual is they have a team of sales agents. Great. Hey, you know what the cool thing is? The cool thing, in a world where most people can't develop anything, they've developed a marginal team of sales agents. Hard to stay qualified regional manager that way, though, isn't it? I mean, we all deal with the law of the lid, and at some point in time, we have to keep hiring people to keep a certain number of agents, right? I mean, it's frustrating, okay? Well, why does this person have a team of sales agents only? Because when they hire people, what are they hiring for? You ain't got to be but so sharp, guys. I mean, like, seriously, Johnston County, I can figure that out. So if all I do is interview people for sales positions and I never talk about passive income, I never interview people that are out there driving the 3 Series BMWs, that have jobs, that are getting in probably from stopping off drinking 6 beers because their life is such a hellhole. They can't stand to get home to their wife because they're already done with that. They probably got better office relationships than they do anything. And these guys are frustrated and they're dying and they're looking for leadership. They're looking for something to hope for. I heard Rick Warren say today, I'm a hope dealer. I said, man, that's what we are, man. We're hope dealers. And you know what? I'm not going to apologize that we're not going to find most of those people. We're not going to find them on ZipRecruiters. I bet you a bunch of people just hung up on that one. No. You know, I don't have anything against ZipRecruiter. I got mine up and going. And you know what? Hiring sales agents, arguably, it's a pretty good strategy short term, because the more money you can make in personal sales and hiring sales agents, the more money, albeit it's temporary, albeit it's self-driven, the more money you can make, the better it looks on you and the better shot you have of developing a self-image where you're liable to start talking to somebody at a Starbucks coffee who maybe when you start talking to them, it makes you a little nervous because, man, they're so sharp. It's like, man, like this guy's so sharp. But that's how you know you're talking to the right people. Yeah, man. So why does this person have a team of sales agents? Because they're hiring for sales agents. If this person would ever make a switch and just don't stop hiring sales agents. Okay, hear me out. Don't stop what you're doing. Just add to what you're doing and start looking to hire people that most likely are not insurance licensed, most likely are not answering ZipRecruiter ads, but you meet them out and about and you just have a conversation with them and you say, you say, hey, what do you do? And they tell you about their engineering background. They tell you about them being a CPA. They tell you about them graduating law school and being a lawyer. But see, as you develop your self-image, you're not intimidated by any of that. Why? Because you know what it produces. It produces broke. It produces no time. It produces frustration, massive frustration. So you sit back in just your chill mode, and they say, what do you do? I develop distribution for top-rated insurance carriers. Do you think they hear that answer all the time? No. Hey, what do you do? I develop distribution channels for top-rated insurance carriers. You ever heard of Mutual of Omaha? Yeah, they and others like them pay me for creating distribution channels. As a matter of fact, I put together business teams of corporate executives that are looking for exit strategies out of corporate America. You ever keep your options open for making money on the side of what you're doing? Great. How about jotting down your name and number? I'm going to grab my coffee and man, you know, I can't promise anything, but give me a call. I'll drop you a call and I'll share a little bit about what I do. Maybe it's for you, but maybe it's not. Nice meeting you, though. Width. I need my whiteboard. This is you. YSPLMCs. Young, sharp, productive, local married couples. Young, sharp, productive, local married couples. Young, sharp, productive, local married couples. Go get wide. Go get wide. Go start interviewing people. The sharper, the better. If you're going to get a no from a pretty girl, right? That's what I told my boy. You're going to go up and ask a girl out and you're going to get turned down. Listen, they're going to tell you no anyway. Might as well go up and ask the pretty girl to the dance. They're going to tell you no anyway. See, if I ask the pretty girl to the dance, I got to tell my buddies, hey, guess who I just got turned down by? They look at you and go, what? Who? No way. You asked her out. You had the guts to ask her out. That's right. I went right up to her and I said, hey, you want to go to dance? She said, not a chance in the world. And I said, all right. But you know what? You know what? I had the guts to do it. I think that if we actually start interviewing people like that for the Equis Financial opportunity, and we start leading people to the Equis Financial system, and we start showing people how they can be free, how can they be free? Okay, listen to this. If I take somebody on a part-time basis and I help them develop regional managership, I help them develop from scratch 15 to 20 writing agents, which the foundation of that is what? Sales manager. Help them start by hiring 3 before you even get licensed. That's the new Ignite. Yes, I want you to write 2,700. Yes, I want you to get paid on 2,700. But if you can hire 3, if you can get 3 in Exam FX or Excel testing with you, you know what? You're bad to the bone. And if you can create that foundation in your first 30, 45 days, I think it's game over. But you help people create a 6-figure passive income. So number 1 is width. Number 2 is when I hire that guy, I don't know if that guy's going to do it or not. And so the only reason why I hire that guy, now again, I'm going deeper tonight, okay? So don't be sending me any emails. Don't be calling Jared. The only reason why I hire that guy, I don't know if they're going to do it or not. The only reason I hire them is I've got a shot. I've got about a 2 to 3 day window of time while that guy's excited to access that guy's sphere of influence. So I got a shelf life in seeing who that guy knows. And if I could go down there and help him hire 1 to 2 to 3 people, then if I help him at least hire 1 person, maybe 2, maybe 3, what's the likelihood that this guy right there is going to get through Excel testing? Have I just increased the chances that he's going to get through testing because now I put 3 people behind him? So tell me recruiting doesn't drive all good things, right? And so this guy, he's sharp, he's the sharpest of the 3. And so I'm going to go down and grab a cup of coffee with this guy at a Starbucks, or I'm going to go to his apartment or townhouse. And you know what I'm going to have him do? I'm going to have him invite a couple of his buddies over. And I'm going to do the best I can to tap into his sphere of influence and tap into that guy. But here's what I know. If I can go down and create a pocket of 12 to 15 potential agents, again, they're all non-licensed. But if I could go down there and create some excitement of 12 to 15, what's the likelihood I'm going to have 3 to maybe 4 rise up out of that and start competing against each other? So how do we start creating fast-growing business teams? By hiring people to own their own business, not to sell insurance. Yeah, selling insurance is a part of it. Just like if I were talking to you about McDonald's, that you know what? We're going to have to take that spatula right there and we're going to have to flip a burger every now and then. If it was Subway sandwiches, we're going to have to put on them gloves. You know what I mean? You ever seen Subway and they put on them gloves that go up about right there? They put on them gloves, they sit there and go, white or wheat? See, we're going to have to do some of that. That's just a part of the business. But if I'm looking to expand my Subway sandwich, I'm not going out there and hiring people that want to say white or wheat. I'm not going out there and hiring people that want to sit behind there going, number 2 combo, number 3 combo. You want fries with that? No, we do that because that's a part of the process. I'm going out there and hiring people that want to make a 7-figure passive income. I'm going out there and hiring people that want to be free. I'm going out there and hiring people that don't want a job. They don't want a job, man. They want to be free. There ain't nothing wrong with jobs. Don't get ill. There's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with a job unless you're an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, you're never going to be happy in a job. I promise you that. So what do you want? This is vital. You want a team of salespeople who are unemployed every day of the week, of the month? What happens to their family if they lose their ability to perform? Seriously, what happens? Bye-bye. Yesterday's or last week's or last month's production mean nothing. Means nothing. Now, am I saying let's go tell all of our salespeople that? No, they know it. You know what we do with our salespeople? We celebrate them. That's what they want to go out there and sell. They love it. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's high five them. They're awesome. Let's not try to make them into what they're not. But if you're on this call tonight or you're on this Zoom meeting tonight and you're an entrepreneur, you're a builder, well, then you understand what I'm saying. Our weeks, they're miserable failures if we don't go out there and do B quadrant activities. So I went out there and I sold 4,700 a day. Big deal. It's my job. It's my job in network marketing. Back when I was in Amway, you know what I did for a job? I went out there and I changed oil at Quick 10 Oil Change. Remember that, Ollie? Yeah, I was the guy underneath the car at the Quick 10 Oil Change, changing the oil. You know why? Because it paid me enough money to put gas in my car to go out there and show the plan and share the opportunity within a 3, 4, 5 hour radius of Raleigh, North Carolina. I mowed grass. I washed cars. I did canvassing. I did a million jobs. You know what jobs allow me to do? It allowed me to go build my life. But I'd work my job from 6, 7 in the morning until 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then I'd go build my business. My job was not my dream. My business was my dream. And I did everything. Everything I did in life was to go out there and build my business, not work my job. So what you think I feel accomplished because I went out there and I wrote 4 or 5 applications for 4,700? No way, man. Like I ain't even like that. Like, I hope that makes sense, man. That's just, God, that's so key. But I see people going out there and selling like it's something. Like I see people going out there and again, don't get me wrong. See, if you're a salesperson on this call, you're getting offended at that. Don't get offended, guys. This is my own teach builders. Don't get offended at that. Plug in tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. I'm going to have Andrew Pappas on to talk about sales. 10 o'clock on Tuesdays, that's our time to teach sales. But Monday nights at 9 o'clock, guys, this is my only time to really teach builders the truth about building. And if you're a true builder, we go out there and sell for a couple of reasons. Number one, we need the cash flow. Number two, it sets the example until we can duplicate ourselves enough to get out of the field so we can invest more time in building distribution. I don't want a team of just salespeople. I want a good core team of dream-driven business owners who understand the activities that drive distribution. How do I find these people? Man, this is a key question, guys. How do I find these people? How do I find them? How do you find them? You know how to find them. How do you find them? I find exactly what I'm looking for. I find what I focus on. See, when I fix my brain on what I want, man, it's so much out. I mean, have you ever like I'm trying to think of an example, like I remember the first time, like, I got a certain kind of car. I used to never see these cars, and I got a car, like, and then all of a sudden I saw them everywhere. I mean, why was that? Did all of a sudden everybody just buy that same type of car? No. See, whatever I fix my mind on and whatever I decide that I want in life, I want freedom. I want 10 to 12 qualified double regional managers going triple regional managers, because I got 10 to 12 double regional managers getting an equity bonus every 30 days. Do you think that my income becomes more stable? Do you think that my income becomes more stable when I got 10 to 12 double RMs, triple RMs, getting at least the first tier equity bonus? Yes or no? Does my income become more stable? You're darn right it does. So how do I find those people? Man, I just desire it with everything that I am. I'm going out there and find them and track them. I'm going out there and finding them. That's faith. And you know what I pray? I pray that my Father in heaven sees my faith, and I pray that he blesses me. Because where my builders come from, I can't take credit. I wish I was smart enough. I can't take credit. But you know what I can go out there? I can go out there and look at people that look like John Kight at 25 years of age. And I can go out there and say, hey, are you open to making money? You know what I'm really saying? Do you have the guts to go do what I do? Do you have the guts to go for it all? Do you really want it all? Do you want it all? Do you want time and money? Do you? Do you? Do you? It's nice to meet you. My name is Opportunity. Opportunity. Are you prepared? You've been thinking about it. You've been up watching the infomercials. You've been going to the network marketing meetings. You done gotten about 6 of them network marketing things. Done called all your friends and family. Are you that guy? You want something? You got the guts to get it? I know your spouse is negative. They all are. Join the crowd, man. Let's go. You want to do something with life? You want to do something more than the church league softball and going into dugout after scoring a run and having 10 of your buddies patting you on the butt? Man, you just like, this is awesome, man. I can't wait the next Thursday night. It's Tuesday. I can't wait to Thursday. Why? Because, man, it's the only time I'm alive, man. It's the only time I feel accomplished is hitting a daggum softball and scoring a run. See, I'm looking for those guys that are living lives of quiet desperation. They've been called. And you know what they're waiting on? All they're waiting on is us just to go, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? So you know what width is. And you know that right now the challenge is to go wide with more people than not that are excited about owning a business and excited about the result of B quadrant business ownership. I did have some notes. Sorry. Are there any questions out there? See right there? Y'all know what that is right there? I'm not going to turn it around, but y'all know what that is right there? I've got my group drawn out about 7 different ways. You know why I got it drawn out 7 different ways? Because I'm looking for several different things. I'm interrogating my reality 7 different ways in my business. Dang it. Does anybody have any questions while I look for these notes? All right, well, I'll end with this. Let me see if I've got any. Okay. So financial freedom comes in duplication of B quadrant activities. For true business builders, now, and I'm going to slow down because I really need you to understand this. Okay, I'm getting ready to let you off. I know it's getting late for you East Coasters, okay, but I need for you to understand this. There is no freedom. There's no freedom. I don't care how big a sales team you build. I don't care how you talk about how you got all this awesome sales team and you sit in your pool every day. I don't want to be sitting in my pool on the phone 12 hours. There's no freedom unless you duplicate yourself through B quadrant activities. And you're not going to duplicate yourself through B quadrant activities until you commit and start doing B quadrant activities in your sleep. You wake up and you're doing them. You're building your business. See, maybe this call tonight will go a long way in letting you know that, hey, you know what, man, as much as I've got caught up in this building stuff and as much as I've got caught up in thinking I wanted to be a regional manager or thinking I wanted the equity bonus, you know what, maybe I'm not a builder. Maybe I'm an awesome sales guy. Maybe I'm an awesome field underwriter. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with me being a field underwriter and me going out there and having 4 or 5 agents as field underwriters. Man, Equis is an awesome place to be. Man, they give me reward stuff, man. They give me trips, man. We're going to Maui, Hawaii. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're a builder, then you think about building all the time. And when you're done with your sales and you've made your sales money, you don't have to be reminded to now go out there and find people. You know, let me give you an example. You ever seen a guy? Man, it's hot. You ever seen a guy get addicted to hunting or fishing? You ever seen a guy like that just gets like eat up with it? Like he'll figure out a way to go hunting before work. And then he'll go to work. And then you know what he's thinking about all day long? He's thinking about getting off of work. You know why? Because he knows that spot where he's going to go, and he knows he's going to see the big deer today. He knows he's going to get into the ducks today. He's eat up with it. He does it before he goes to work. He looks for every reason in the world to go hunting because he's eat up with it. He's passionate about it. And when the season's over, he does nothing but think and plan and buy gear and do this because he's visualizing, he's thinking about the next hunt. Hunting becomes his life. You ever seen people like that? Get eat up with it. Well, that's the same thing that happened to me when I went to that meeting in Raleigh, Ollie. That's the same thing that happened to me. Doug Toops, that's the same thing that happened to me when I saw that guy put those 6 circles up there on that board, and he says, all you got to do is to find 6. Find 6, help them go regional manager, and you've got a strong $250,000 6-figure income for the rest of your life. Heck, and in our business, if you just go regional manager right, if you go regional manager properly, you got that income. So the deal that I fell in love with weren't half as good as what we got today. But I remember up there thinking, I can find 6 like me. I can find 6 people like me. You mean all I got to do is find 6 people like me and I'm free? I can find 6 people like me. And you know what? I was still saying that 7 years later. I was still saying that 9 years later. I was still saying that. It became my life's purpose. Now, it wasn't nobody's fault but my own that I had a lot of growing to do. A lot of growing to do. I had a lot of books to read. Man, I had a lot of work to do up here. Still do. So there ain't no freedom without duplication of B quadrant activities. There's no duplication of B quadrant activities if you're not doing them. Seriously, dude. You think you're going to find people to go out there and build their business when you ain't even building yours? Seriously. And I'm going to tell you something else about building. And you know what? I don't mean to be getting up in your junk, but if we're going to go deeper than a mud puddle, then I do need to tell you this. What you do when nobody's looking matters. The way you live your life, the way you treat your spouse, the way you treat your kids, the things that you do, the way you speak, what you do when nobody's watching matters. And if you don't think it does, then you know what? You keep thinking that. And you're still going to be wondering why it ain't working for you 15 years from now. Everything that you do is LTD, learnable, teachable, duplicatable. So if you're not going to duplicate yourself unless you're duplicating business building activities, and you're not going to duplicate yourself in business building activities until you're doing business building activities, what are business building activities? Number one, sales is a given. Okay, so we ain't gonna add that down there. I know you out there selling, dude. Great job, man. I'm out there selling too. But that's our job, man. Man, we don't need a cookie for that. Number one, you're getting width. You're getting new width. You're getting new, young, sharp, productive, local married couples. You're getting new, dream-driven people, not salespeople. Don't add that. I'm not saying stop getting salespeople, but at some point in time, dude, you got to grow past that. Hire your salespeople. Hire somebody to get your salespeople, because you know what? There's something to be said for just having a churn them and burn them and bringing salespeople in like crazy. But don't think that's building your business unless you're working through them, finding dream-driven people. So number one, this is interrogating our reality. Me and you, bud. Number one, are you getting wide with sharp, at least 4 out of the 6-point profile people? And in order for us to get wide with 4, 5s, and 6s, then we got to figure out how to talk to 4, 5s, and 6s. Number two, so that's number one, getting wide. There's no leadership without width. Number two is driving legs past 4 deep. Are you at least driving a second leg past 4 deep? Are you? When was the last time you went down in depth and did anything? See, if you stay up there working with your front line only and you stay just up there in the width mode, man, that's not it. The only reason you get wide is to look for places to work depth. When you find good people, find somebody for them. You ain't got them hired. You don't have that person hired until you have that person for them. You don't have that person hired until you hire that person for them. You don't have that person until you have that person. Go build depth. Width is horizontal. Depth is vertical. And a business building truth that I know is that we can't get 4 layers in depth without identifying at least one. I'm just talking about a stud. I'm talking about like man, like that's a sharp guy. That's a sharp lady. So business building, B quadrant activities. You ready for them? Number 1, personal development. Man, you got to read like it's going out of style, man. Man, you've got to associate like it's going out of style. Association is your best friend. You know the biggest difference between business builders and salespeople? Business builders can't wait for the next conference call. Number 2, man, you're doing interviews wherever you can, man. You stop in and get gas at a gas station, you're liable to do 2-3 interviews on people standing around. You just doing them, man. Well, John, that's a little bit different from the guys I'm getting to call into my Calendly. And yeah, and you know what? Half them daggone people you talking to, you never even let in your own house around your own spouse and kids, man. Again, I'm not saying stop doing that. Don't stop doing that. But again, elevate. Number 1, personal development. Number 2 is interviews. Number 3, figure out how to attract right people. Figure it out, man. You got it. You can figure it out. Figure out how to attract them. Figure it out. Process. And then engage in mentoring and coaching. Get them to your upline. Business builders have an appetite for leadership. They think about their business constantly. Sales is their job. Building is their life. Man, I could sit here and talk about that and just kind of go over the same things, but I ain't going to do it. I hope it made some sense. Does anybody have any questions out there at all? Just looking at my text. Man, I just can't tell you that. I mean, and we've got a shot to be like great. If we can get this, we've got a shot to be great. One of the things that I'll challenge you to do is the new people that you've got coming on board, maybe challenge yourself. Maybe you've even hired them for sales jobs. I get it, dude. I get it. But you know what? Challenge yourself to maybe have a conversation with them about freedom. At least have one conversation with people about freedom, just to see if you expose them. Maybe that should be our mantra. Like, hey, I'm going to hire anybody, and I'm going to hire sales agents to come in that want to make $500 a week part-time. I get that. I'm down with that, buddy. Me and you, we're going to do it. Yes, me and you together. Yeah, absolutely. But let's at least owe it to them to have one legitimate conversation about how they can become free, just to see how they react. Shouldn't we? Like, maybe we expose one of them every now and then. Like, all of a sudden they start looking at you like, well, man, you ain't talking to me about that. You mean to tell me I can have $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a week of passive income every Monday morning I wake up? How do I do that? Hiring people, and all of a sudden you got a guy going out there and he's getting eat up with it. Just like the guy that you take the new guy hunting, and all of a sudden he sits up there in that tree and he sees that deer for the first time. And he raises up, that deer starts hopping away. Bam, bam, bam. And he misses him, but he thinks he got him. So he jumped down out of that deer stand. He goes running, looking for the blood trail. Can't find him. But you know what? That excitement, that guy's the first time he's felt alive since high school football. It's the first time he's felt alive in God knows how long. So you know what? He can't wait. He can't wait to get back out in that deer stand. He gets eat up with it. Let's go find people that are eat up with freedom, man. Man, we've got the best opportunity in the world with Equis Financial. Can you imagine it getting any better? Seriously. Man, it doesn't get any better. Goodness gracious, it doesn't get any better. We've got the opportunity of a lifetime. The only thing that limits us is our own thoughts. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for plugging in on these Monday nights. Tomorrow morning, we do have Andrew Pappas is going to be teaching. He's going to be teaching a little 15-minute. And by the way, I think you guys have seen that we've really shortened up our Tuesday call. I'm committed to really not allowing that to go past 30 minutes. So when you plug in, we're going to be doing announcements. We're going to be reading leaderboards. And then we're going to go to a short 15, 20-minute teaching session. And so tomorrow morning, we've got Andrew Pappas that's going to be doing that. It's going to be awesome. Please get your salespeople on that. And, man, group needs lighting up like 4th of July. Over the weekend, you guys were knocking it out of the park. Today, I mean, knocking it out of the park, dude, I thought it was awesome. I'm not even going to mention names right now, but I'm so proud of so many of you guys that are committing to that sales process. And you know what? You commit to the sales process and you're going to see results. So any questions, Brad? Do we have any questions in chat or anything like that?
No, sir. No questions. Just Jeremy Harp said very clear tonight. Thank you. No, just nothing but praise, sir. No questions.
All right, man. Thank you so much for getting it set up. Love you guys. Kick some butt.